Throughout the 1980s and 90s, there were many prolific graphic designers and illustrators known for making the album covers we see in everyday life, often attaching them to what we hear in these albums. Though, there was an illustrator in Germany called Andreas Marschall. Andreas happened to be an illustrator, video director, and an editor. Throughout the 80s, Andreas became the most popular cover illustrator in Germany, making album covers such as In Flames, Demi Gear, Immolation, Blind Guardian, and Creator, to name a few, which were all very popular acts in the extreme metal music scene. His design style for his album covers often is captured in airbrush style, doused with bright and dark color tones, imaginary landscapes, bold lettering, and emotional meaning shown to always be theme appropriate for the bands he has done covers for. In order to understand Andreas' art style, we would need to look through a selection of covers he has made spanning across the early and late 1990s. Here are a select few you can look through. First, we have Blind Guardian, Tales from the Twilight World. Tales from the Twilight World is the third studio album from German power metal band Blind Guardian, released on July 16, 1990, in a dimly lit stone chamber, illuminated by several torches positioned on the ground and along a corner wall. A rat, roughly the size of a human infant, gnaws on something near an imposing throne. Scattered across the stone floor, a piece of parchment flutters, bearing the title Tales from the Twilight World. A group of individuals, adorned in agricultural masks with exaggerated cartoonish noses, display a mix of servitude and joy towards a central figure among them. Seated atop a throne shaped like a creature, with the head forming the apex, is a hooded figure, partially obscured by their robes. The setting appears to be a deep underground dungeon, constructed from stone and adorned with medieval weaponry and armor that embellish the walls. Although many album cover artists use materials such as paint, pencil, some even use computers, Andreas uses the airbrush. And with this airbrush, there are hints of the colors yellow, gold, brown, some red, and even white. Andreas Marschall's artistic approach in the album Tales from the Twilight World by Blind Guardian is characterized by a rich blend of fantasy and intricate detail. His designs vividly capture the essence of the band's thematic elements, merging mythical imagery with a dark, atmospheric aesthetic. The artwork not only complements the music, but also enhances the storytelling aspect, inviting listeners into a visually immersive experience that reflects the epic narratives found within the songs. Marschall's unique style has become synonymous with the band's identity, making a significant impact on the visual representation of their work. Second, we have Immolation, Dawn of Possession. Dawn of Possession is the debut album from the death metal band Immolation, released on July 16, 1991. In this cover, a dramatic sky filled with blood red, dark red, and black clouds sets the stage, with the sun just beginning to rise behind the chaotic battlefield at the center. Legions of ominous black and brown demons, their eyes glinting with malice, launch an assault on ethereal angels, seemingly intent on possessing them. In response, translucent, angelic figures emerge to confront the onslaught, valiantly defending against the demons or plummeting from the heavens under the weight of their fury. This striking imagery serves as the inaugural album cover for the death metal band Immolation, crafted by Andreas. Andreas' use of red in this cover hints at the demonic and most certainly evil album name that is Dawn of Possession. The many different shades of red indicate not only a melancholic attachment the viewer can acquire when listening to this album, but a significant role in how the fans of Immolation imagine and listen to their music. His style with the airbrush comes across as witty and technical when it comes to the line work this cover exemplifies. It is a hallmark in death metal album covers by far, and one of the most true death metal looking albums of all time. Third, we have Gravedigger, Symphony of Death. Symphony of Death is the 12th project from the German power metal band Gravedigger, released on April 18, 1994. The album title and band name are prominently displayed in bold italics, reflecting a medieval aesthetic that complements the overall artwork. Central to the design is a figure draped in robes with a skull for a head, seemingly looking like a Grim Reaper, playing a violin or a viola, possibly evoking the concept of a symphony of death. This figure is positioned above a vibrant blue skyscape, characterized by almost cyan clouds and radiant beams of angelic white light that envelop both the figure and his instrument. Andreas Marschall's design aesthetic for Gravedigger, Symphony of Death, is characterized by a striking blend of dark imagery intricate details. His work captures the essence of the macabre, utilizing bold colors and dynamic compositions to evoke a sense of both horror and fascination. The designs reflect a deep understanding of the themes associated with the Gravedigger franchise, merging elements of fantasy and reality to create a visually compelling narrative that resonates with the fans and newcomers alike. In fourth place, we have Nightingales, Towards the Twilight. Towards the Twilight is the debut album from the melodic death metal band Nightingales, released on June 10, 1997. The landscape is dominated by brown stone formations with towering structures receding into the distance against a twilight sky. On the ground, two silver feathers, accented with white highlights, catch the eye, one seemingly ignited by an unseen sun within the scene. The band name is artistically rendered in a medieval font, adding a unique touch to the cover. Surrounding this imagery is a palette of earthy, post-apocalyptic hues that envelop the entire frame. This marks the first and only cover that Andreas would design for Nightingales.
This is the Moonchild domain!
In fifth place, we have Dimmu Borgir, Godless Savage Garden. Godless Savage Garden is the fourth studio album by symphonic black metal band Dimmu Borgir, released on July 13, 1998. Here we see a mystical green figure, reminiscent of a sci-fi garden goddess. She's perched upon a throne amidst a fog-laden landscape. The surroundings are entwined with vines, evoking the essence of a lush garden. In the foreground, a sword is plunged into the grassy floor, adding an element of intrigue to the scene. In the sixth and last place is In Flames, Colony. Colony is the fourth studio album by Swedish heavy metal band In Flames, released on May 31st, 1999. Marschall's distinctive style not only complements the band's identity, but also elevates the overall aesthetic of the album, making it a memorable visual experience. The incorporation of red and magenta hues evoke a sense of melancholy in the background created by Andreas for this album cover, which marks his fourth and final contribution to In Flames. The artwork presents a striking landscape where the water appears crimson blood red, accompanied by structures that suggest the presence of a colony. There's also a metallic statue rendered in silver and brownish tones, depicting a figure with legs integrated into the metallic framework beneath its upper body. In conclusion, with the album covers shown, Andreas Marschall has molded himself an iconic and innate style for the medium you see in this video today as album or record cover art. His use of fictional or non-fictional landscapes and characters and surrounding dramatic themes and scenery make way for the visions he embellishes around the music for the bands he works with, establishing his style amongst hundreds of different covers and bands over countless decades. He paved his way up to the top in order to be the most prolific artist and graphic designer he is today.